Hey guys, so welcome to 2016. Man, it's a new year already. And we're going to talk a little bit today about some of the 6 business goals you want for 2016. So as I was thinking about this year, I'm actually in Australia. This isn't my usual view. As you can see, my background, there's fancy trees and there's probably plenty of tropical noises to share that I'm in Australia. But as we were preparing kind of for this new year, winding down the last one, there's a lot of things that I was thinking about in terms of, some business goals for 2016. And I think probably the biggest one that hit me was kind of this fun little thought that I actually read. I can't remember if it was online on someone's blog or if it was in a video I was watching on YouTube, but it was the idea of thinking that people don't want to buy mattresses. They want to buy a good night's sleep. And I thought to myself, whoa, like how true is that? Like oftentimes we get so wrapped up in the features, we get so wrapped up in the idea of what we can offer people specifically that we don't really take a look at what we as small business owners and creatives can offer people as a benefit to their business, right? So not just the little individual things. So like if I was designing logos or whatever, it's not that, it's a modern logo or it uses a unique font or it's something that can be completely different than anybody else, but rather it's a logo that can communicate to your ideal client exactly who you are. Like the benefits coming out of what we can offer, that is so incredible. It's so much more important than just the features. And I thought that was an amazing thought to start the new year on. But a lot of different business goals that I have for myself this year. One of them definitely is to read more books. I think a lot of people realize that reading books and hearing what other people say in their experience with their business is really valuable, really important. And it was fascinating as Carrie and Rachel and I were talking. It's like crazy how many more successful CEOs or C-level executives around the world say that they read books on a monthly basis, right? And they're just constantly learning, constantly digging deeper into that. And I thought to myself, books are great. I really do enjoy reading books, but also more than that, I think discovering the world out there. I mean, we are living in a world where the internet's at our fingertips and we have everything that we want out there. Oh, Rachel, I think she joined up. Rachel, jump on in. Jump on in. Let me make sure that there's an open seat. There she is. Yes. How are you, Rachel? I'll get your video up here in a second. Rachel.
Hello.
There she is. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
You back in the States?
Nope, still in the land down under.
Yeah.
Not
nice.
yet. Still in the land down under.
Hey.
So Carrie,
Hello.
what's up?
Nothing much. I can't figure out where I am.
I know, it's
my
mirror image. I was doing the same.
I'm like, which way do
My
I turn
video
the
is like,
computer?
yeah, it was freaking me out today.
I just did the exact same thing. It's like reverse from what you would think.
So
Yeah. I was just sharing with everybody about some of the 6 business goals for 2016, and one of the ones that I had started off was just reading more. Making sure that we dive into educating ourselves as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as people really wanting to learn how to do things that maybe are a little bit new or on the edge. And so, yeah, jumping into that reading list. Whoa, yay, the praise hands. Woo.
they're so weird.
Yeah, I'm weird. It's early too, so it doubles up on each other.
What day are you getting back to the U.S.?
Actually, the 12th now, but good news. We're coming back in business class.
Oh,
We some tickets opened up on points, and so we're like, oh, we'll just snag those.
you know, you're in Australia right now, and my friend who's visiting, which is why I have to be here short amount of time. She lives in Melbourne, so sophisticated places.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? We're just gonna fly past each other.
yeah.
Is she
She's
coming
been
back soon?
here since before Christmas. She goes back Friday the 8th. This Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Anyway.
Cool. So yeah, we can talk forever. That's the problem. What do you guys have for your business goals in 2016? Rachel, I'll start with you. What's something that you really want to jump into 2016 that maybe you had good intentions 2015 to do, but didn't, or that you just learned?
So New Year, you always want, it's like natural to just look over everything, all of your brand, all of your work, make sure, it's all fresh and it's what you want to show. So that's always a business goal that I have. And that's a business goal that, everyone who produces some sort of work should have, just make sure your portfolio reflects who you want to work with, who you are, that it's authentic to you. Personally, rebranding, that's coming up, not just getting Made in the Lab up and running, but myself, my own business. So that's exciting. Yeah. But yeah, it's like that new time, every year it's like the time that we're reminded that everything is new and fresh and we have a clean slate and we need to make sure it's putting our best foot forward.
Yeah, totally. I was just jumping on the rebranding myself, and it's like one of those things you forget how hard it is to rebrand yourself.
Talk to me, Jason.
You haven't done
Let's help each other.
Yeah. Well, we'll just rebrand each other. That's the way to do it. Carrie, how about you? What's one of the business goals that you really want to jump into for 2016? I probably stole your reading.
Well, yeah.
So what happens?
Reading is always one of mine. I'm trying to I always have this goal to be on social media less, log in less and participate less. If I can automate all my social media and then not be sucked into the app and all that crap, I hate internet drama. And I think especially with the photography industry, I just really like to stay out of that as much as possible. And last year, about halfway through the year, I really kind of made a consistent movement and change to be present on social media less, but it's still something I struggle with. So this year I'm we're going to give it all. So that's one thing I want to do. For me personally, I think that's something great for everyone, just because we get so sucked into social media and just commenting and really stupid threads about politics or religion and debating people on the internet about crap that just doesn't even matter. I think we could all use less of that in our lives.
Sure. Do you feel like it's something that is the personal side of who we are, it's seeping into our business relationships that you want to kind of bring back a little bit? Or is it something that you want just more time in your day out of your social media regimen?
I don't know. That's a hard thing to answer. I think if I did not own a business, I probably would not be on social media at all. And almost all of my posts are scheduled in advance and automated. And I don't know if it's more of I guess I would say it's more of a personal choice. I don't want to live my life on the internet with only internet interactions. I think, especially as a business owner, if you're out there doing more and seeing more and experiencing more, you have more to offer other people. And I don't need to be on social media talking about all the awesome things that I did that day or whenever. I'd rather be out there experiencing it, learning about stuff, coming back, telling people about it during a specific point in time, and then ignoring it the rest of the time. I don't know. I loved life before social media, when you used to have to call people. you know, see people in person.
Yeah.
And I think I'd love more of that in my life. I don't want everything to be online all the time, but it's just a balance, because with businesses, I have to also be online, and I can't schedule everything in advance. Some of it needs to be spontaneous. So it's just a balance that I'm always working on improving.
So for those of our followers who are watching, like, what are some of the best tools that you like to automate or schedule out your social media posts?
I've talked about them so much lately.
I know I've heard about them a lot, but I just want to make sure everybody
preface
knows real
this
quick
by saying that I believe that in order to do well in business, you have to invest in it, both with your time and financially. And I think one thing that people often hesitate to do is invest financially in their business, because you don't often see a reward right away. So when it comes to things like spending money on tools to automate processes in my business so that I can have more free time to do, to actually photograph or to meet people in person and hang out, I'm willing to invest, whatever it takes to take care of those things. So I spend about $100 a month on social media automation, but I run 4 businesses. My biggest and favorite tools are meetedgar.com. Edgar, it's $50 a month, which people are hesitant to spend, but definitely the best $50 a month I've probably ever spent on my business, because not only does it automate or allow you to schedule stuff in advance, it schedules things for you. So it takes all the thinking out of it. It's cheaper than having an assistant, cheaper than hiring a social media coordinator. So I use that. It covers Facebook and Twitter for me. And then I use a tool called Schedugram, based out of Australia, and costs $20 a month. And it allows you to schedule all of your Instagrams and fully automates it. Unlike Latergram, which sends you a reminder to post, this actually just posts it for you. So those are my 2 biggest ones. And they've saved me so much time. I'll say Schedugram especially. Since I started using it, I've been able to post much more consistently online. And by having a more consistent presence on Instagram, in 6 months, I more than tripled the amount of followers I have. So, and tripling your followers brings in more clients, brings in more money, so pays for itself. That's my thought. Rachel's back.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, she's back.
I had a.
It's all right.
Was Kieran
burning your house down?
My internet. Sweet.
He unplugged the modem again. I bet you.
Let's do.
Yeah.
3 more goals.
What?
3 more goals.
2016.
So my next goal, the second goal that I have, I think for this year, is kind of piggyback off yours, Carrie. I think it's really awesome to automate and to streamline processes, but sometimes I think that we as small business owners kind of get it in our head at that point that we're kind of free to do whatever we want at that point. And I love starting new projects. I'm the worst at starting a new project and then for myself, and then thinking, oh, I'll just do everything in overnight. And it doesn't really work like that. So I think making sure that as you're gaining more time, as you're setting yourself up to have more time as a small business owner, to make sure you're utilizing that and to utilize it doing the things that are bringing in revenue for your business. And I think that that's really important. So if you're a photographer, making sure that you're thinking of new ways or putting that time towards building revenue for your business instead of just devoting all of that time to something that's not bringing you revenue, because then the payoff isn't.
You mean I should automate my whole business so I can watch more Netflix?
No, don't automate just so you can binge watch Netflix or binge watch Making a Murderer, which I made the mistake of getting into 2 days ago. I was like, man, is this Dan's story?
Don't spoil it. Or 3.
Okay.
Dan stayed up I watched the first 2, and then I fell asleep, and then I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, like the sun was starting to come up, and he's still watching it. And I'm like,
Oh,
the sun is coming out, and then he turns it off,
man.
and then it's like, got to finish it.
Good
Crazy.
move on Netflix part.
Yeah.
Seriously, it is.
Yeah. It'll suck your life away.
So I'll put one in. Having 4 kids, balance is like a major goal every single year that I have. You know, just trying to make sure that I'm devoting time, I'm using my time wisely, you know, making lists and getting all the things that I need done, but also that I can balance my work time with my family time, which is always a struggle, but I always reevaluate it. You know, reevaluate my business hours, evaluate my holidays, you know, what am I going to take off, look at my whole schedule for the year and just kind of tailor it so that I can make sure that I'm giving my kids all their time they need. I have 3 in school, so that's 3 that have to do homework after school and need a lot of attention from me. So, you know, this year I'm having to kind of reevaluate like when I'm going to cut out for the day, and that sort of thing. So balance is like a huge goal, just reevaluating how I balance stuff.
Yeah. No, I bet that can be hectically crazy.
That's probably a mom goal for all moms.
Yeah.
Are there specific things that you feel is really helpful in finding that balance, Rachel? Like, is there some, like, one instance in the past that's worked really well? You feel like super mom and you just balanced everything for, even if it's one day?
Setting business hours.
1 hour.
Right now it's 9. 9 to 5, but I do go pick my kids up from school at this point at 3. But, you know, I'm in the office at 9 to 5, so I don't sit down at my desk until 9. So I get, you know, in the morning, obviously I'm getting my kids ready for school, like getting lunches made, getting them dressed, getting them out the door. And I have about an hour, and I get like a lot of my mom's stuff done. So I get, you know, before, because it's like I watch that clock at 9 o'clock, I'm going to sit down at my desk. So from, you know, 8:15 to 9, I'm throwing a load of laundry in, I'm making my bed, I'm cleaning up the dishes, you know, just doing like the mom stuff. And at 9 o'clock, I sit down, I answer my emails, I get all of that out of the way. Like, I'm a huge email, I hate having emails. I have to answer them right away in the morning, get them done out of the way. So, I mean, just kind of scheduling my day, like it's always the same. You know, I'll take a little bit of time for lunch. You know, obviously it fluctuates if my 2-year-old needs me. Obviously, I'm not going to ignore him. So,
what? Why would you not just ignore him?
Gosh, I mean, he has Netflix. You know, like he's good. He's 2.
Like making a murderer and see how it goes.
Yeah. He has crayons in my walls, so he can just color. You know.
Oh
You guys
man,
saw
that was so funny when we saw that.
Yeah.
I think the best part though was when he unplugged your modem and you like just went offline, and then we're like, wait, where'd you go? And like 20 minutes later, she's like, he unplugged the modem.
It's plugged into a surge protector, and he turned the surge protector off, which turns the TV off, turns everything off, turns the internet off. I mean, like, yeah. Good job, buddy.
He's a smart kid.
He is.
Smart
He
kid.
is. So we're missing 1, right? We've got 5.
I'll go.
Yeah.
All right.
One of my goals this year that I really need to do better at is working from my office when I'm at home. The last like year and a half, my office is just like a sort of like a catch-all because one of our dogs has dementia, so he's really needy and he feels best when he's working or when he can sit next to me on the couch. And so then I end up doing all my work from the living room, and I'm in my living room all the time. And so it's hard for me to have a defined workspace and a defined home space. So that's something I'm redoing this year. So I actually reorganized my office and like set it up so that he has a comfy place to sit, and we're going to work on some some training for me so that I can be better at making sure I can help him find the dog door when he's in my office, because he just doesn't know that path very well since he has dementia. So that way I can keep my like home life and business life a little bit separate. I really like the idea of like coming into my office for my work hours, and when work hours are done, closing the computer and shutting the office door. And all my work stays in my office and doesn't, you know, flow into the rest of the house, that I feel like I'm not working when I'm at home, because otherwise it's just all so intermingled together. So that's something I'm going to be doing this year.
I need to shut my computer down too at the end of my day. That would be like, otherwise I get sucked in to working again.
Well, as a wedding photographer, I always want to just answer the inquiry when it comes in my inbox, you know?
Yeah.
And if my computer is downstairs on the coffee table, I just open it up, and then I get on there, and then I'm on Facebook, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I should write this blog post for next month. Oh, I have a great idea. I'm going to go do this and write it down in Evernote, and then I'm working. And so I need to just leave my computer upstairs. So even when I get that email and it pops up on my phone, I'm just like, my computer is upstairs, and I'm too lazy to go get
it.
Yeah. I think that's a good one. That's one I need to work on too.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably a struggle of all small business owners, especially when you have families, is like you just are so excited and you want your business to do well. And so you feel like you have to pour in like 60 hours a week. Just, you know, it's kind of the thought of, I'll put in the hours because the more hours I put in, the better my business will be. When I think a lot of times I found that when I first started doing web design and building my business, I was like, all right, 60-hour a week. Like, let's just do the grind, do the hard work, make sure it all counts. Nah, almost blew up my marriage. That was like intense. So yeah, don't do that. Learn to close the office door from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. or whenever you go to work. So
yeah.
Close it and
I always
lock
have to just get better at. So I'm just going to try and get better at that this year. I have lots of other goals that I'd love to hang out and share, but since my friend is here all the way from Australia and it's the only day I get to see her this year, I'm going to go hang out with her and close the computer.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I think
sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. See you, Carrie.
Bye, Carrie.
Bye.
Tell her good day.
I will. She'll have brekkie or something.
Tell her I'm eating Vegemite toast as soon as I get off of here.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow for a meeting.
Yeah. Right. Or, always. We're always chatting. You made me smell Vegemite that one time, and I'm never, ever, ever, ever trying.
You have to try it, though. You have to try it. Mm-hmm. Yes.
It smelled like salt.
Man. So you put salt on everything.
I don't put salt in anything. I leave salt out of every recipe I ever make. So no.
Well, anything that you eat probably has salt in it, Rachel.
I'm sure it does, but it's not like I'm tasting. It's not like I'm putting like salt spread on something that's already salty. I know what it is. It's like salt spread.
It's like,
to each their
if you
own.
haven't been in the ocean and drank ocean water lately, here's a fix. Vegemite.
Here it is in gel form. Yum.
Yeah. Oh man, some of our.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm gonna get some flack for this, but I also don't like Nutella. Can't do it. Not a hazelnut fan. I know, I see that face.
Just close the computer.
Yeah.
Log off. The end.
It's just me.
Well, that's all right.
I don't know.
I guess we can just melt some chocolate and pour it on some bread for you.
I'll just eat the chocolate. You can keep the bread.
So do you have any other goals that you'd like to share, or are you going to jump off?
I can stay on for a few more minutes.
Reality.
But I mean,
Sweet.
that whole balance thing. Got to go get the kids from school, help them with homework. I think it's just following through, sticking to everything that I'm going to do, actually following through and getting, my stuff done. I always want to work on client stuff. I always, try to put my clients first. But my stuff is important too. So that's always something I have to balance too.
Sure.
It's making sure I'm taking care of my business and updating, my stuff, taking my own advice.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, welcome, Amy, by the way. I saw you giving us some props there. We're just sharing some of our business goals for the new year. And Rachel and I, as we're wrapping up, talking about some of the things. And Rachel, one thing that I was going to ask you, like, how do you, because I know that you do a lot of freelance, a lot of stuff by yourself. Mm-hmm. How do you stay motivated without like a business partner or somebody else in the room just like feeding you new ideas or somebody to bounce ideas off of? Like, what would you do on a daily basis to help spur your motivation if you weren't motivated?
I chalk it up to my personality. I think my personality is always one that just gets things done. I always have been that way. I never had a problem with coming up with ideas. I went through my degrees in art. I went through art school. If you've never, that's like, people think that's an easy major and an easy degree, but it's kind of not, because it's really up to your teacher's discretion. You could have a great idea and they could just decide they don't like it and you get a C on the project, but that really kind of trained me to, in my own mind, the ideas keep flowing. So I guess I would chalk it up to a little bit to that. Schooling.
So what happens if you do get stuck? Like, has there ever been a day when you've just felt stuck?
Yeah. And I'll usually walk away. If I'm just not feeling it and I can't get into that groove, you kind of have to get into the groove. Like, don't you feel that way?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
There are days that you just aren't there, or, I work on multiple projects. So maybe I'm not there with one client and it's like, I just need a day to kind of meditate on this one, think about this one, and maybe I move on to a different project that I'm more, you feel a little more inspired on that particular day. So a lot of people are like, how do you manage multiple projects? But my brain functions better that way. Period.
Speaking of balance, I totally agree with you. I think that oftentimes for me, when I get stuck, I will just walk outside. Like, since we live on a little bit of land and we have, a garden and animals outside, like I'll just go outside and spend some time doing something else, which just requires, I think, a different part of my brain. Like, it's more like do chores, do the routine kind of thing, like just reset. And then I can come back and let that creativeness kind of take off again. That, or other times I'll find myself getting creative on something completely off topic, and somewhere along the lines, it'll spur a thought into the projects I'm working on. But then that's one of those like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. moments where I'm like, I have to jump in the computer and do this, or it should just be, I'll write this down so I can read it tomorrow morning and jump on it first thing. So, but it's tough.
It is for sure. It's hard. But it's almost like training your brain to, think in that way. I don't know. That's the only way I can describe it.
Well, I think too, for everybody who's watching out there, like one of the things like I really love about Blab is that you can get on and you can see what other people are talking about, what other real small business entrepreneurs are doing and what they think is important. And I think that is so valuable in our growth as business leaders and business people, is that we can either just jump on and talk with somebody else or listen to them. And I think that provides more of a community than what we get at home if we're working alone or if we're on the road. So I think that that's super valuable. It's one of the reasons I really love using Blab and making it part of our workflow, Rachel. So, but I know that you have to go get your kids soon.
I sure do.
So I won't.
And Kieran just keeps saying bye.
Oh,
Bye,
Kieran,
Jeff.
you want us to go? Bye.
Jeff. Don't eat
All
our
right,
candy.
see you guys. Yes, I won't steal your candy next time.
Can you say bye? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. We'll see you, Jason. Thanks,
See you,
everyone.
Rachel. All right, so as I wrap it up, because I'm going to go enjoy my morning coffee here in sunny coast Queensland, I just want to encourage you guys, if you have business goals that you want to share, like make sure you check us out on Facebook, Made in the Lab, and you can let us know on Twitter at Lab Approved. Let us know what some of your business goals are for this 2016. And we'd love to hear them, and even share, maybe some thoughts of our own about how you can really maximize that. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next time.